the total that stands today is 49% for DLR 2.2 to 2.8. And again, we have a lot of optimism for Center for Railways and the oil and gas in Mozambique. I visited Mozambique last week, and all that they are having will also contribute to their fast submission of data for verification. And I think they are set up to achieve results very, very fast. If you look at the education sector, where there's only one center here, the performance is quite good because it's 71% disbursement for DLR 2.2 to 2.8. I've not received the data for DLR 2.7 from centers in Rwanda, so I think this one will be coming soon. For applied statistics, again, there's only one center, data science. Also, the performance is not that bad because they are doing it 76% for DLR 2.2 to 2.8. So I think this center is also on track to achieve the set target for this DLR 2.2 to 2.8. Now, we'll be receiving the reports from you on GRM systems and plans. What the discussion that we had yesterday also relates to what is happening now. So far, we've received more than, you have registered 126 GRMs in your respective centers. 50 centers have reported this, and we are glad to inform you that looking at what has been resolved, we see that 63% of what was reported has been resolved by yourselves, and we appreciate for that. And we are also asking you to continue solving some of the remaining complaints that came from either students or other stakeholders. For private sector facilitation, remember in our discussion, we are still struggling to get more effective private sector engagement. And this is something that we are interested to do. So we have hired a consultant. We are going to hire a consultant, sorry. The terms of references were prepared and approved by FCI management. This consultant will undertake, among others, the assessment of the existing practices for private sector engagement and collaboration. The consultant will assess the existing institutional structures for private sector engagement and collaboration. And the consultant will also support us to develop a framework for private sector engagement and collaboration. So today is the deadline for, the call was made, and today is the deadline for submission of CVs for individual consultants. So we're expecting this one to be expedited, and soon this consultant will be on to help you build up a system for private sector engagement. So in short, I would like to say that from the reported RFIs, everybody is on track to achieve our targets. It looks like we have no problem in achieving our targets. So what we're asking you is to work together with us to further improve the quality of data submitted for verification. And we're also asking you to reflect a little bit on whether the attained targets are reflective of the improved quality and relevance of our research and the postgraduate training outputs. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Because I'm the one moderating, is there any reaction from the group, from the audience?
Jonathan, can I talk?
Yes, George, and your team.
Thank you for an excellent presentation. I'm not sure whether I missed it. I'm very much interested in the private sector engagement, the one you are getting a consultant. I know many ACEs, including ourselves, have some of the products coming out of their work, and I don't know how long this will take, because we have that as a major bottleneck in trying to commercialize and also roll out some of the products, and the challenge is acceptance by industry is or engagement is low. Do you have timelines on when this person will already come around? We have several ACEs. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're actually planning to have it done very quickly. So this week, we are going to do evaluation. The procurement committee will sit and evaluate documents submitted by the potential consultants. Then once we make a selection, we shall engage that consultant as soon as possible. So we are working towards making it available as soon as possible. Any other questions? If not, then
I've raised my hand. I don't know, you don't see it?
I've not. Oh, I've seen it now.
Yeah.
It was carried. Okay.
Yes.
Kamoko, are you Kamoko?
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jonathan. Actually, I commend you for excellent presentation. But most I want to emphasize on the last point only of your recommendation, in which you touch about how our quality. Well, quality of our product, university product, have improved. That's a very nice recommendation, and maybe it's important that if we can reflect it. But in connection with the issue of course research and development and the commercialization, there's of course some products which are going to the product, but there's some the physical product I mean, but there's some output which are especially those research related, and if I can refer, for example, to create. That was when the center was starting. There was a presentation from the center leader where it was indicating in several areas, especially on the crop production in Tanzania, especially for these perishable products. They were, for example, Tanzania was in, for example, these tomatoes and most of other perishable products. There was a report which was indicating how Tanzania is faring in terms of production, food production, but mostly it was among the best in terms of for example, tomato. It was ranking among the best, maybe 10. I don't know. I don't remember the actual figure. But when it comes on the wastage, it was on the lower side. But that was physical. What I got from the picture, that was the focus of one of the areas creates wanted to come in and see how they are helping Tanzanian farmers and the business people overall, actually to minimize these wastages. Now, I'm sure the center has done a lot of research, and maybe even others have done research. The challenge I see, I don't know to what extent are we disseminating, because some of the research, they don't agree to producing some physical items, but some of this research will go for these are soft part and could be where you trace once they are disseminated. But I'm not sure to what extent are we disseminating these research, and I'm sure most of the research outcomes are related to, are part of this soft part, so the quality part of the product, other than the quantity. And I'm not sure how to what extent are we faring, but I take that your recommendation is very, very important, and maybe if you could reflect how are we doing, and we have the resources, especially on our communication team. And because most of this research should inform the policymakers, and when I reflect Tanzanians, most of the decisions are done. You may blame the senior policymakers, but to what I see, they are not well informed, and I would expect that the ACEs can contribute to make sure that whatever we have, we do, and whatever we come out with, really reach the those who are really matters in terms of consuming those products. Over to you, Jonathan, and the team.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's true. I wish Agnes could come in. What we've discovered is that there's a lot of publications and innovations that are being produced by centers, but the communication wing for dissemination is not as good as we expect. And what we're trying to do now is to also help centers to document what is happening with the centers, and then try to publicize from our systems as much as possible. I hope, Agnes, you are hearing. Can you say something about what we're going to do to support SS to disseminate? Because as we go closer to the end of the project, if we don't disseminate enough, we may not be able to influence change in as far as policy and other things that need to be done for the outputs of the project to be known and to be used for change. Roberta, I'll give you time, but let me hear a bit from Agnes, because she's responsible for communication.
What we've been doing is we worked on communication strategies in March and April for all ACEs, hoping that once these communication strategies are in place, then they'll make the work of communicating and disseminating results actually much easier. And so we have worked on about 22 communication strategies. There are about 2 centers which have not responded to the call for this. The other thing we are doing as RFU is documenting video stories. And we recently returned from Mozambique and Zambia, and the stories will soon be ready. We already finished Rwanda and Kenya, and we hopefully will be visiting the remaining countries to document stories just as a start, because the communication officers at those centers are supposed to take the lead in the dissemination of the results from the ACEs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Agnes. Roberta, you have the floor to contribute to the discussion.
Actually, Jonathan, it's not me, but I shared my connection with the other World Bank TTLs. So they're all connected as me, I think. So I don't know who that is, but maybe just ask who has their hand up.
Okay, whoever is connected.
Maybe Jonathan, maybe to add on maybe you can emphasize. You have done a lot. Actually, I've been even using your report. I always get actually the report from you and distribute to our government team. But I was looking at our special individual centers, how they can utilize the social media. For example, in Tanzania, the social media are very, very, very strong. And you could see, for example, last week there was someone dropped a message in the WhatsApp on these robbers, but it was, I'm in several groups in WhatsApp, especially social. But within what I learned within 1 hour, it was almost across different groups, and I could see, for example, it is maybe cheaper even to use the TikTok, for example, to develop a small clips, these video clips, and share the Twitters, and those kind of at least people, at least at center level, they know what you are doing, and even sometimes the directing there where the information could be found. And that one I will find that maybe we are not using it, and I don't think we have a really problem with funding. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Kamboko, for supplementing what you emphasized in your first remarks. So we seem not to have any other questions. I now invite
Jonathan, can I contribute a bit? Kipanyula.
Yes, Professor, you're welcome. You have not raised your hands. That's why I was trying to miss you.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Right.
I think as much as we talk of dissemination of research outputs for the government, for the output to be used by the governments, centers could consider coming up with the policy briefs, because government officials may not have time to go through papers. So preparing policy briefs will be really important for the results to be consumed by the government officials. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, that's one area that we need to do more. I visited the Copperbelt University. They have quite a number of policy briefs they're making, but I suspect maybe they are just disseminated within the university. So going out and meeting power secretaries and the policymakers in general will be something that will bring some impact.
But we are working on that, Jonathan. As RFU, I think we are planning to work on policy briefs.
Yeah, at regional level, right?
Yes, at regional level.
Okay, maybe we stop here. The challenge for everybody is to make sure that whatever we're reporting, whatever targets we're achieving should reflect on the change that we intended to do at the beginning of this project, which is to increase relevancy, to increase quality, but also to increase the numbers of experts in the area.
Jonathan, a very last one, just a comment.
From George, yes.
I was just having a suggestion.
Yeah.
I've seen you are having very nice aggregated data for all the S's.
George, are you still there? It looks like you are stuck.
Can be uploaded. What do you think? That was just a suggestion.
Can you come again? We missed 2 or 3 of your words before you concluded your question.
I said, I see you do very good aggregated information from all centers.
Yeah.
I was suggesting, is it possible for IUCN that to receive all published works from all ACEs in some platform? It would be very nice also as an output which can easily be shared from IUCN. All our publications from our journal. No, that's just a suggestion.
Yeah, we take it serious because the intention is really not to hide actually is to use the available data to talk about the project in a wider audience. So you're right, that is another study that we may use to compile and share this information, or even make it available for researchers to see what is going on and make publications out of what we are producing. So it is possible. We are taking it, and our consultant is also listening. We shall innovate how best to do it so that we are able to communicate our results in a way that will inform not only the SS but also other stakeholders in the region. So I want to invite Juru to come in if she is connected. Juru, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So you're most welcome. Juru is going to make a presentation on a regional accreditation framework, which is being developed by Inter-University Council for East Africa. Remember, we are still not having a regional body to accredit our program. So these are the effort that we are doing at IUCN to help you get regional accreditation, if possible. So Juru, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juru Maria Glantine. I'm the Senior Quality Assurance and Standard Officer at the Inter-University Council for East Africa. And as Jonathan said, I'm going to make a presentation on the development of the regional accreditation of programs in East Africa. Here is the presentation overview. I just have an introduction, the concept of accreditation, the global trends and accreditation, and the current status of accreditation in East Africa, and the rationale of having the regional accreditation, and the characteristics of the regional accreditations, benefits of the regional accreditations, and the proposed requirements for accreditation at the region level, and the proposed steps to follow when we are requesting for accreditation, and now what is next. So, higher education has greatly evolved in the 21st century, and that was characterized by the rapid expansion of higher education that was brought about various challenges, including quality of academic programs. Sorry. With these quality issues, there was a need for countries to regulate and assure the quality of their education systems. And that's when there was a creation of national council commissions for higher education in the countries. And on top of that, also, there was an internationalization of higher education that brought about the issue of cross-border of higher education. And this cross-border of higher education impacted the processes and policies defining and documenting quality in higher education, hence the rise of accreditation activities that cross national boundaries. The ICA mandate in general is to coordinate higher education and research in the region, but with the establishment of the East African Community Common Market Protocol in 2010 and the declaration of the East African Community as a common higher education area in 2017, those two expand the mandate of ICA to provide for, among other things, harmonized quality assurance and accreditation systems. So these systems would allow comparability, compatibility of higher education and training systems and the qualifications attained to facilitate, among others, mobility of learners and labor. And that's how now ICA came up with the idea of developing a regional accreditation framework. What is accreditation? Accreditation is a process by which an external body evaluates the quality of higher education institutions as a whole or specific education program for formal recognition as having met predetermined minimum criteria or standard. And the accreditation can be used for assuring quality of new or existing programs, as well as new or existing higher education institution. So what are the global trends in accreditation? Like in the United States, there are three general types of accrediting agencies, what we call regional accrediting agencies. These ones operate in 6 regions of the USA and concentrate their reviews on higher education institutions within their specific region. So it means if you are in a region X, you can't just operate in region Y. There's also national accrediting agents. These ones operate across the United States. But these ones review institutions with a common theme, for example, religiously affiliated institutions. There are also programmatic accrediting agencies. These ones, they operate also nationwide and they review programs and single purpose institutions, for example, institutions that are dealing with the business only. But in 1996, the universities and the colleges set up what they call the Council for Higher Education Accreditation, that accredits these accrediting agencies to certify to their standards and processes. In Europe, the accreditation or reaccreditation of institutions is usually undertaken by national bodies, either government department or government-initiated agencies that make formal judgment on recognition. In Africa, accreditation of institutions and all programs is in most of the cases undertaken by national regulatory agencies or ministries are responsible for higher education in cases where they don't have the regulatory agencies. What is the current status in East Africa? Accreditation currently is done by national commissions and Council for Higher Education, but at the national level. So at the region level, up to now, we didn't have any regional accreditation, we just have the principle of mutual recognition on accreditation decisions, where if a program or an institution is accredited in the country A, there was a principle of mutual recognition where it was to be mutually recognized in a country B. However, sometimes there were some challenges due to some differences on the principal regulatory frameworks. I can give an example. There are some countries where like an institution is allowed to operate when it has like a provisional license and also can graduate students. And sometimes it would cause problem because those students would graduate from country A, but when they go to country B and produce their degrees, they would not be recognized because in country B, they wouldn't allow an institution with provisional license to operate. So that's why also there was a need to harmonize accreditation practices in EAC to eliminate discrepancies, and also this is part of the operationalization of the common higher education area. So what is the rationale for this regional accreditation? These universities increasingly seek international reputation. Also, some professions and increased professional mobility create stronger pressure on countries and institutions to obtain qualifications recognized by international labor market. Here I can give an example, maybe ACCA accountants, where they need to have international recognized certificates. There are also requirements by some government and international funding agencies to have regional accreditation before they fund or before their projects are being accepted. Also, there is a new development at the African continental level, where there is a project of developing the Pan-African quality assurance and the accreditation framework. And also there's a joint African Union European Commission strategy on harmonization of African higher education quality assurance and accreditation. And one of the outputs of this HAQUA was the African Standards and Guidelines for Quality Assurance. Who are the involved stakeholders in this process of developing the regional accreditation framework? We have representatives from the National Commissions and Council for Higher Education in all the 6 partner states. We also got representatives from higher learning institutions, both public and private, but also we had some consultative meetings with other regional blocs, notably South America and Europe. What are the characteristics of this proposed regional accreditation framework? The proposed framework would provide mechanisms that will facilitate mutual recognition of institutions and all programs that are recognized or accredited by the National Commissions and Council for Higher Education in their respective countries. So for a program to be accredited at the regional level, it has to first be recognized or accredited at the national level. This regional accreditation would not be prescriptive, supranational, nor supra-institution, but would promote institutional and national diversities and innovation while ensuring harmony in quality assurance practices in the region. It will also increase trust and marketability of the programs and institutions to stakeholders, especially aspiring students. And this proposed framework, unlike the accreditation at the national level, this one will be voluntary for interested programs, and it will just be a quality based. So we will eventually be focusing more on quality of the program. So what is the advantage, what is the added value of this program with regards to the normal programs that are running at the national level? What are the benefits of this regional accreditation? It will increase visibility and recognition of the higher education institutions and programs. It will improve the rating and ranking of
We've lost you, George. Juru, are you still there? It looks like the presenter has disappeared.
I'm sorry, my network had just,
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying another benefit was to save huge amount of money spent while looking for international accreditation, because as you know, for some programs, the cost can be as high as $100,000. So the regional ones will save some money. What are the proposed now requirements for accreditation, the EAC level? As I said, in institutions or program requesting to be accredited must first be recognized or accredited at the country level. And should also be coming from a recognized country. Any institution or program must comply with the regional policy standards and guidelines. There are some already set policies with regards to quality assurance and some standard and guidelines. This should be complied with if you seek for regional accreditation. For a professional program, this one must be recognized by the professional body at the national level. They should also provide evidence of having been reviewed. Hello?
Hello, Jody.
Yes.
Sorry for the interference, but we don't see the presentation.
You don't see it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we don't see it. Okay.
I think when I was disconnected, I was no longer sharing. 1 second, I'm trying to. Okay, 1 second, I'm trying to share it again.
Seen. It is now visible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay now. We see. Thank you.
Yes. I was saying that for institution, it should provide evidence of having been reviewed or developed using the regional state standards. For example, you have what you call the Roadmap to Quality Handbook for Quality Assurance in Higher Education. And this one provide guidelines for self-assessment at program level, but also external assessment of programs at the institution level. Also, should have evidence of having been subjected to or compliant with some regional subject benchmarks where applicable. We have also developed a set of benchmarks, and these ones help institutions to develop or to review their programs to make sure that the minimum requirements of given programs are met at the ESC level. And there should also be a proof of payment of the applicable fees for accreditation. What are the proposed steps for the accreditation procedures? There will be a contacting phase where a program that needs to be accredited, an institution will just write to formally to ICA requesting the same. After the consideration, there will be the institutional program will be requested to provide the self-assessment report. So they will assess the program following the set guidelines by ICA. Then once the report is received, there will be an appointment of the peer reviewers. These peer reviewers will be comprising of, yes, members from the academia, but also from the private sector professional bodies, depending on the programs. Then there will be an on-site visit to verify or to confirm whatever is in the self-assessment report. And once the visit is done, there will be an external assessment report that will be done by the peer reviewers. And this external assessment report will be submitted to a subcommittee that will be in charge of accreditation. And once the decision is made, the decision will be presented to a board for approval, and the result of the procedures will be communicated to the applying institution. In case there are some problems, the arbitration procedures also are provided for. So what is next now? The draft regional accreditation framework that comprises of the standards, the guidelines, procedures and processes for the ESC program accreditation is being fine-tuned, and is going to be considered by the executive committee that will take place in July this year. That is next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juru, for a very good presentation. Maybe one question: Can you tell the family that I'm coordinating that they can apply for regional accreditation in August?
Yes, now this regional accreditation, though it was developed in East Africa, but it is not meant for only East African institutions or only East African programs. So it is even open to other institutions and programs. Thank you.
So the question is it going to be ready by August so that we prepare our documents for submission?
I didn't get you.
Is it going to be ready in August this year?
Yeah, we hope that to be ready by August, because as I said, you are going to present it in the meeting, the board in July, and hopefully it will be passed, and then by August it will start being operational.
Okay, I now invite questions from the floor. I start with Dr. Judy from Akalise. Judy, you have some questions there. I know you are interested in this kind of initiative.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Jure for that great work. And I thank IUCA for having worked on that. I think we really badly needed it. I just want to ask, as we prepare for our work plans, how much more or less would it require us in terms of money for a program so that we plan accordingly? How much more or less? And secondly, I don't know how long more or less can the process take? 6 months, a year? I think it would be good to let us know so that we can plan accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take another question from Professor Louise from this is the Center for Oil and Gas Engineering and Technology.
Thank you, Jonathan. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the presenter, Juru. This presentation was really important. It's very good. I'll use also the opportunity to thank Jonathan and Agnes for the fruitful visit to our center last week. I think you have left here with us good recommendations that we are going to follow to achieve the project goals. Trying to articulate my question, let me say that the current efforts for the establishment of this regional framework, accreditation framework, have been pushed by the need of the ACES to have their program regionally accredited, and also for the current availability of the project funds. You have to also be aware that such kind of agencies or frameworks have to be designed and survive beyond the timeline and the scope of the ACE project. They have to fulfill the needs for the program accreditation of the region countries in future. Considering the current status and challenges for Africa, I think Juru has presented some of these challenges and also lessons that we have learned from the past. Consider that we have had some agencies also in the past that didn't go far. Looking at things like funding in African countries, the existence or not of common standards and guidelines for cross-border education, and mean even things like, such as recognition of system transfer, and also things like the commitments of governments in Africa and also national accreditation agencies. Looking also the quality assurance culture in Africa and also the environment for this kind of objectives. The links for the labor market also is also important. So all the stakeholders should be involved. The issue and the question is, how do you see the issue of sustainability of this kind of intention? Thank you.
Lastly, I will ask Moshi to ask her question.
Thanks, Jonathan, and thanks, Juru, for the great presentation. So I have a couple of questions. One is, how long is the process? Like, from making the application to finally get the accreditation, how many months or how long does it take? And how frequently would that have to be renewed if a program or an institution is accredited? Will the accreditation be valid for a certain number of years, and then the institution will have to renew it? Also, does the EAC offer program versus institutional accreditation, like one or the other or both? And what is the difference in the processes and the timeline? And I see there is a question on the cost of the accreditation also as well. So I just wanted to add to it that, for one program versus getting the whole institution accredited, what would be the difference in the cost of that? So thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, Juru.
Yes, Juru, now the floor is yours. You have quite a number of very good questions from Judy, Professor Louise, but also Moshe. Maybe we'll start with what was asked by Judy. How much will it require in terms of money? Juru is interested in how to spend it, but also how long will it take to start the process and finally get the certificate that this program is regionally recognized?
Thank you, Jonathan. For the question of costs, as you know, costs won't be like standard. It will vary depending on the nature of the programs. As you know, some programs maybe have some labs that are outside maybe the main campus, and those also need to be visited. So it will be depend on the nature of the program or the size of the program, the size of the institution. But in our calculations, we saw it to be ranging between 15,000 and 40,000.
Uganda shillings or United States dollars?
Yeah, USD, yes, United States dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, now for the question regarding how long will the process take? In ideal situation, the process will be taking like 56 weeks. But as you know, this requires the involvement of both parties, that is the institution that is going to be accredited, or the program that's going to be accredited, and also IUCA. So I'm saying this because if now an institution contacts IUCA that it needs to be accredited, and you request them to produce the self-assessment report, normally we'll be giving them for 2 months. But they may delay to produce the report, and that may delay the process. But in ideal situation, it will be taking 56 hours.
Yeah, thank you very much. There was another question from Professor Louise. He wanted to know
the sustainability.
He was looking forward to the end of the project and beyond. So he was asking for sustainability of the proposed framework.
Yes, what I wanted to assure Professor Lewis that currently we don't have an issue of sustainability because, as you know, IUCA is an intergovernmental organization. So we are funded by partner states. So this initiative, or this regional accreditation initiative, is not only meant for African Centers of Excellence programs, it is also meant for other programs in the region. And as I said, when we were developing this regional accreditation, we worked together with the National Commissions and Councils for Higher Education, and these are the ones accrediting programs at the national level. So still we will continue to work with them even in the accreditation process at the regional level, and this won't cause any problem when it comes to sustainability. So as long as you have programs that need to be accredited in the region, we have programs that are running or institutions that are still running. We also will still need this regional accreditation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Juru. Moshiri had very good questions. The first question was, how frequently are you going to do it? Because if you spend $40,000 today and in 2-3 years you are required again to come back, that will be too expensive. So she wanted to know how frequent this is going to be taking place, but also the difference between the accreditation of the program and the vis-a-vis accreditation of the institution, the process, and the amount that will cost the institution to engage into this framework.
Okay. Thank you for the question regarding how often this accreditation will be done. As you know, the program cycle normally.
Hello.
Yeah, someone is talking.
So go ahead, go ahead. I think somebody is just entering the meeting.
Okay, I was saying, as you know, normally, on average, the program cycle is for 5 years. So normally a program is reviewed after 5 years, after 5 years for undergraduate, or 2 or 4 years after the master's. So the reaccreditation will be doing after like 2 cycles. So if it is a program, so it will just, for 4 years, it will just be being reaccredited after 8 years. So if it is a 2-year program, to being reaccredited after 4 years. Whether we are going to do the program or institution accreditation, we agreed that for the beginning, we are going to start with the program accreditation. So once this one is smoothly running, now we will also proceed with the accreditation of institutions, but at the moment we'll be just concentrating on the program accreditation. And the process is more or less the same, but the tools to be used when you're doing the program or institution accreditations are different. But at the moment, we are just concentrating on the program accreditation. Thank you. Chair, I think those who are I've responded to all the questions.
There are some questions in the chat.
Yeah. Yes,
Have you looked at
yes.
those?
Jonathan, I was also raising my hand. I think you didn't see my hand.
Jonathan, you're on mute.
Can I speak, Jonathan?
Go through the chat, yes.
Bobby, please wait for the response, for the person to respond. Then he will come back to you. Bobby, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing some questions from the chat. There is a question from Damien Hanyurwifura. What are different decisions taken, accreditation with or without a condition? In our case, the accreditation will be awarded if the institutions meet or the requirement, or a program meets all the requirements. If there are some requirements that are not met, a report will be sent to universities requesting them to first fulfill the missing requirements in order to get the accreditation. Someone is saying this accreditation could be costly compared to some international accreditation. When we are trying to calculate the costs of what will be involved to get this accreditation, that's how come we came up with this cost, but it's something that is not fixed, as I said, to be depending on the programs. Maybe I'll also communicate this to my supervisors so that we can see if there is a way this also cost can be revised. Another person is Bernard Hangombe is asking if this accreditation is going to cover all areas of educational specialties. Yes. As I said, these are regional accreditation programs, and will be covering all areas of educational specialties, as the National Commissions and Councils also do accredit all programs. So I think I've responded to all the questions. Jonathan?
Bobby, please, you're welcome to ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. I also joined the other team in congratulating Juru in coming up with this idea. I think it is a very good initiative for the region. Most of my concerns are already addressed, but I have 1 or 2 things that I would like to reflect. One is on who is going to accredit this accrediting body itself. Who is going to give a go-ahead for this body is one question I have. Another one is going to be a huge work for this accrediting body because it is going to represent the region. And how are they going to manage a number of accreditation requests coming from different countries, universities, and programs? Because it is going to they are going to be flooded with a number of accreditation requests. How are they going to manage? Are they ready to entertain that? And the other question I had was who is going to fund this program? I think partly that has been addressed. So these are my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Bobe. Professor Luis, are you still on? Do you still want to ask some more questions? Because your hand is up.
No. Sorry. I will just put my hands down. Thank you. Sorry.
So, Adamson, you have the floor before you will respond to the questions.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Jonathan. I wanted to ask and at the same time encourage maybe what sort of initiatives can be advanced through the S project also in order to galvanize the relevant governmental institutions for those of us in the Southern African region. I know that the invitation to get EAC accreditation is there, but I mean, politically we are South, and this is a good initiative. So maybe my suggestion is maybe through the RSC, this conversation to also be escalated to the point. I'm not suggesting creating, inventing the wheel when another one has already been made, but to find ways of adapting or adopting, and then so that also those of us in the South can be, our needs can be addressed so that we also achieve similar frameworks for those of us, related to those of us, of our colleagues up north. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Juru, can you respond to questions that came from Bobe? And the last question that came from Professor Adamson Mula.
Yeah, the first question was asking who is going to be accrediting ICA. As I said, this is a regional organization, and we have the commissions and councils for higher education. They are our members, and they're the ones in charge of accreditation at the national level. But once the program is running, these days we have some external accrediting agencies. For example, you have the International Network of Quality Assurance in Higher Education, and the ICA is a member of that agency. So we will, in the future, will involve the inquiry also to come to accredit our institution, or yes, our institution. For the question with regard to huge work that will be involved, yes, it's true that there will be an increased amount of work, but as I said, ICA will be just doing the will be just in charge of the administrative part, because when it comes to the external reviewers, we will be just getting experts from all over the world. And they're the ones who will be just doing the assessment and the site visit. So the role of ICA will be just to be a secretariat, and this with the current number of staff that will be there, because ICA is in the process of recruiting some more staff, they will be able to handle the secretarial part. So for the questions of Adamson, asking about if there is a way maybe that can have similar frameworks in the southern part, I would like to assure him that there is no problem for them to seek for accreditation here at the East African region, because after all, even some other programs were seeking accreditation far away in Europe. And also Europe is even on a different continent. So I don't see a problem if they are seeking for accreditation at the ESC level, because also these will be recognized. And as I said also, there is a project of having a Pan-African regional Pan-African accreditation. So when this comes in place, it will feed in the already existing regional accreditation frameworks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Juru. I think we've responded to most of the questions. In the interest of time, I would like to stop here. You remember we had the discussion on regional accreditation. So I would like to invite Sesam to say 1 or 2 words about what they've heard of this presentation. That will be followed by Wise Futures, and then Professor Ngombe and his team will also comment. Then we'll close this discussion for today, because we're now running out of time. So George and Tim, can you comment on regional accreditation, and if you have any suggestions or comments to make in a way of contributing to the best way we can do this process?
Thank you. My Professor Mwonga will lead this. Let him talk.
I think the presentation was very good, and I also want to laud the attempt by IUCA to come up with an regional accreditation body. I think it's time that we have that. When I was listening, and also when I was thinking about the regional accreditation framework, there are a number of issues which I think they'll mention some of them during the questions, and I think they need to come to fore. And one of the issues was the issue of the coverage of this regional accreditation agency. And as you can see, already somebody was asking if we come from the southern part of Africa, can we be able to utilize this accreditation body? And I think that one is an important issue. And I want IUCA to also think of it in terms of the example they gave us of the United States of America, where they have different regional accreditation bodies which deal with the different regions. So maybe that's one of the ways we can be able to move in the future, that we have a regional accreditation body, which is maybe for a particular region, maybe the East and Southern African region, maybe the West African region would also have a regional accreditation body. And why this is important, I think, is because of the issue of recognition. Juro correctly mentioned that many of us are seeking accreditation from Europe, and I think it's because these accrediting bodies are recognized. And the IUCA framework, I think it's done well. It should be able to, with the name of IUCA, to be easily recognized. So I think the issue of recognition is very important, so that we can also be able to attract people from the South, people from the West to get accreditation from the IUCA. So that's one of the things I was going to talk about. The other thing I think which maybe we need to think about also is the relationship between the accrediting body, the IUCA body, and the other national and also international accrediting body. So for example, when you're dealing with accreditation, should we accredit a program, a national program to the regional program, and then again spend time and money again accrediting the same program at the international level? Could there be some way through which these programs then can, or these accrediting bodies can work out some arrangement where once you have a certain accreditation, then to be able to move to the next accreditation, it's much simpler. So that relationship with the accrediting bodies, I think is very, very important. I want to finish by just talking about just a few things about some of the benefits which I got from what Juru presented, and maybe some of the benefits which we should consider to be important when we have this framework. The first one is growing the culture for universities to seek accrediting their programs for the sake of improving the quality of the programs, to look at accreditation as a tool which can be able to improve the quality of our program. So this enculturation, I think it's something which we need to work on, so that when you develop a program, it goes through a national program. The next natural thing we are thinking about is to develop it to go into regional program or even an international program. So that I think is a very important that we think about developing that culture of accrediting our programs. The other one I wanted to bring up was the issue of also building the capacity for our region to be able to accredit our programs. I think that one is also a very important step which the IC has taken. So, Chair, those are some of my comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Sam and the team for a very good contribution. I invite Wise Futures. Hans, I saw you, if you have 1 or 2 sentences to make. Please note that we're running out of time, so don't repeat what others have said.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hans is not here. This is Jande. I have a few issues related to the regional accreditation framework. In short, it is good. It is a good start, specifically in the regional level, so that programs are well recognized by each country. However, we can try to see how we can cut costs, because I can see like the IUCA is trying to repeat what the national accreditation agencies are doing. The agencies that are doing site visits and all this stuff. And I remember from the presentation of Juru, she mentioned that if the program has been accredited by the national accreditation agencies, it can be recognized by the IUCA. Yes. So I think the IUCA can try to see how they can cut the cost by reducing the steps, like site visit and all this stuff. I think these are my comments, and I hope the Bureau can take it and try to improve the system so that they cannot repeat what the national agencies are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jande, for a very good contribution. Lastly, I would like to hear from University of Zambia, Ulza. Asaida, if you are online, over to you. Sentence or two to conclude this discussion.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. I think this is a very good initiative. I think from our end, I think when you visited us, thank you very much for the visit. We actually mentioned the patent issues regarding accreditation. I think this body just comes timely. It's like you took on board our message that we needed something regionally to actually move our programs forward. I think everything has been said by our colleagues. I think you can pick it up from there. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Bernard, for summarizing for me. So I think the task for you is to incorporate the comment that came from this presentation, but also try to consult the other people within the IUCA to see how best we can address some of the challenges, especially costing, duration, and make this friendly to the region, but also friendly to people outside the region. So I stop here, and now I want to invite Technopolis, if they're here, to make their presentation. I'm trying to check if they're connected, and looks like I am not getting one. Agnes, can you confirm for me? You're muted.
Which person in Technopolis? There are several.
Suhair, I think she's the one. She's the one who expected to make a presentation.
I don't see her.
So it looks like I want to extend our apologies. It looks like Technopolis did not join the meeting. In this case, we are going to discuss and see how we are going to accommodate them in the next 2-3 days. So my sincere apologies, and I would like now to move the agenda to breakout rooms. And I want to Mushri to guide us how best we are going to manage with the breakout rooms. There are 4 rooms created, and how they're going to be managed will be described properly by.
Yeah, the rooms are created, and people will choose which room to go to. And then what I'm waiting for are the facilitators.
So we don't have the facilitators connected yet, but the M&E one will be coordinated by Dixon. Is he connected?
Yeah, Dixon is connected, he's there.
So we are still waiting for confirmation from the bank fiduciary staff.
So what I'm asking, so what you are suggesting is for people to hang around so that all facilitators are available. And for those who are going for M&E, Mozambique, you can go straight to the room and you will find the Dixon there. Dixon has an outline of how the discussion will go. So you're welcome to join Dixon in that room, and that will be followed by Malawi, Kenya, and Ethiopia at a later stage.
Jonathan?
Pardon?
Jonathan.
Yes.
Yes. How do you go to the room? How do you go to the room?
Agnes, can you describe how people would go to each room respectively?
Answer the question.
It should be on your screens.
Okay.
But I'm going to invite Ben. Ben, can you please answer how people will join the rooms? Because there should be something that has popped up on all your screens.
I'm still just open the room.
I've opened the rooms. The rooms are there.
And you just click join. Just click join. You will go straight to the room.
Okay, I see now something related with the rooms, simultaneous rooms. Is that the? I think that's the. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, there are like 3 dots under more. So once you click on that, the option will pop up to join a breakout room. And the team from Ethiopia will go to the financial management, Kenya to the procurement, Malawi team to the environmental and social safeguards, and Mozambique to M&E.
Professor Mbale, you have a question?
How do I go to the breakout room, Agnes? I don't think the link.
Dr. Ramkat.
Yes.
You know, at the bottom there is the breakout room with the dots, eh?
Down here?
Yeah, there is the breakout room. The icon which has 4 squares, the breakout room. Click on it and then choose one of them and join.
Down where?
Chini hapo kuna kuanga na mute as you go to the leave.
Hapo kwa mo?
Chini kabisa.
Join breakout rooms. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Agnes, where is Zambia, guys?
It is FM, procurement, environment. It's not in countries.
Okay.
It's not by country, it's by those technical areas, yeah.
The countries were assigned on the agenda. So you have to look at the agenda and see which country was assigned to which room at which time.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Agnes.
Hi.
Does it mean that for countries without an appointment today, we can leave the meeting?
Which country is that?
Zambia.
Zambia is not on the list.
For today.
For today. Oh yeah, for today, Zambia is. Well, yeah, but you can also join whichever really interests you. I think it's okay if you don't want to join today, you can join.
Yeah, because I think today is specific to advising the centers to that context, but I don't know what's happening with Technopolis. Huh? Is there any chance Technopolis will join today and we pull the centers all back? Agnes, do you know?
Let me find out.
Okay.
Hello, Jonathan. Hello.
I don't know if Jonathan is around. Let me call him.
That's Agnes. Agnes.
Yes.
Agnes, this is Professor Mbale.
Yes.
Now, since you are not scheduled for this breakout rooms, should we wait? Is the Technopolis coming in or not?
Well, I can't confirm at this point.
Because we don't want to miss the Technopolis. And if Technopolis will not come in, then we can join tomorrow when we have got our schedule also.
Yeah, I think I've not contacted Technopolis, so I cannot really confirm if they will come or not at this point, and we apologize for that.
And that's why I was calling it. That's why I was calling Jonathan, so that he could have clarified that point, that if Technopolis is not there, then what happens? Should we log out and join tomorrow, or what? Because if we log out now, which will mean, and then Technopolis comes in to present, then we are going to lose out, no so?
Yeah, wait, maybe sit tight for 5 minutes and then we'll see if we can contact Technopolis. It's not clear what happened here, but 5 minutes and then we'll come back to you and let you know if it's just not going to happen or if there's potential to happen. All right,
that will be fine that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Jonathan? We're still waiting in the environmental social safeguards. There's no one. No facilitator.
It's because they weren't scheduled to start yet, so we were trying to get them to join earlier. This was supposed to be the Technopolis session, so we're scrambling to try to reallocate.
Okay.
Sorry, it's all a scramble now, but we're trying to make things efficient. So give us a second. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Professor Mbale, I think we're just gonna assume Technopolis is not gonna join today, and so you can safely log off.
Hello. I'm not getting you. Can you repeat? Hello, hi.
We haven't heard back from Technopolis, and so we won't try to reschedule now because then we'll lose too many of you. So we'll just assume it's not happening. We'll try to get it rescheduled later in the week.
All right. Okay. So as now we can leave the meeting,
yes.
eh?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Inashuru. Hello. Hi. You are madam.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
No, I'm sorry, my mistake. I thought you're from the procurement team, right?
Yes.
So you have to join the procurement breakout room.
Which is the link?
So when you see the more option in the taskbar below, when you click on it, it says join breakout room.
Oh, okay.
And then the procurement one.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Jonathan. Jonathan. Hello.
Jonathan, I think, has stepped out.
Who is talking?
This is Agnes.
Agnes, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Pau went off here at Haramaya, and we are joining back. We were out. Pau went off, and we didn't know actually how to go to the breakout rooms. What should I do to go to the financial management room?
Okay, it's just you. It's only you.
Probably Dr. Bobe will come back because we are in the same campus, and the power went off.
So even Bobby wants financial. Or you want to another one?
Probably we need to separate, or is it the same time that they do for Ethiopia? Where
It's okay. So we assign you to financial management,
Yeah.
and then Bobby can go to another one. Okay, fine. I get it. Fine.
Good, good, good. So did you direct me to financial management?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Hi, can you do the same for me?
I think he's gone. Okay.
These are another ones account.
Okay. Financial. Which group?
Not financial, safeguards.
Which one?
Yeah, environmental safeguards. Yeah.
Okay, environmental. All right, I get it.